Hello there, this is Pixel. Very quick video as I'm quite tired. I've just been on a flight, just came back on holiday. I've been meaning to release this for quite a bit of time now. I just haven't got to it, so I apologize for that. This is quite a different honey bottle farm compared to the others. Instead of using the general concept where you have your fucking like endless like dust lines, and you just spam these and tile them much like your item filters or whatever. This uses signal strength 5 barrels. Um, and you might be asking, well, can't we replace these with somebody else? Barrels are not typically perfectly lag friendly. Barrels are quite nice, and this is in the fact that we can power them. So this is just one of the modules over here. This is just one like smaller bit of it. So there's two ways mainly that we can distribute. First of all, the bottles over here. So the bottles will typically sit in this barrel, in this dropper over here. Um, what this module specifically was built for was to run ice lines. So typically you would like to run hoppers and things like that. Would not recommend it. It's typically quite laggy. You could essentially, I guess, you could run your average like rail lines and all that, but then you're dealing with mine carts and stuff, and that's quite laggy. So I just recommend doing this. Um, this is not particularly complex at all, actually. We can actually see a module over here that is pretty simple. So you've got your barrel over here, and all of the barrels in this are all filled to signal strength 6. I would recommend you use unstackable shovels because they are the cheapest unstackable to make. Um, Essentially the concept of this is that you fill this drop over here with bottles. On the rising edge, when this powers, it will fire this this repeat over here, powering, seeing the first bottle. So we've got a bottle over here. We can simulate this actually by doing that. So if we notice that the bottle is now going to be fired, so if we do, I don't know, do we have to subtracting? I have no idea what this is doing. If we just break it, we can simulate it anyway. It's actually so quick that we actually missed it, but um, you could have actually seen that the bottle actually drops out. Um, so what happens is that on the first fire, it fires it into here. Rising edge over here will mean that when this is powered, because this will be subtracted, it will power it. Powering this tool shoots it down. The observer signal gets sent. It fires this once. Then the honey is harvested. This means this will fire again, not fire this, because it's not. It will be turning off. This will get detected by the observer and it will fire this a second time, spitting the bottle into these ice lines. Very simple, very fucking sexy to look at. We can tile this actually a few times. It is actually pretty easy to tile. This is just an example over here where we've tiled these things a few times. The nice thing about the azalea leaves concept as well, I've seen quite a few submissions in TVA that are pretty like fucking dumb, where people just lay these things like this, and they just have hives just stuck here. Yeah, I find that really, really infuriating actually, because it's just like really, really not like interesting or unique or anything. Um, while we can have like the hexagon, I think somebody made like a hexagon pattern, um, or like this, and then the bees would come out over here, um, and then they'd go upwards to have a thing, and then you'd have the long tower. This I found was just really, really stupid. Yes, you do get a nice collection system at the bottom, but wiring this is just a monster. You might as well just like make like this, which is so much more simpler. This is, with both these modules together, I think this is about 10. Yeah, this is 10 by 6 by 2 for each one of these modules. 10 by 2 by 6. 6 by 2, 6 by 2. Um, and this is really, really simple to make. Like, it is really, really simple. I've got another video on my channel that is unlisted. I will also link it in the submission on how to make one of these modules into tilets. There's another thing also to very quickly note. The hive formation goes as follows. The hive formation goes like this. So you have a hive over here, hive over here, hive over here, hive over here. So instead of doing it like, let's say like this, which is what most things does, we can actually get an extra module in here because we've got no wasted space. Um, Now, the question comes about when does this thing become laggy? So we can say that this thing's dustless. Yes, sure. Tile entities might be an issue. Don't think it is, in my opinion. Um, but otherwise, this is actually really compact and really lag friendly compared to your constantly changing dust lines as well. And the general just layout of the older ones, this is more compact for the amount of lag we're producing. For example, this is about, I think this is exactly 20 hives. 20 hives over here, and this is just a general water stream layout over here. So this will be your refiller over here. You would fire a bottle, and this would go straight into the hoppers over here and filled it up. When this side is filled, we get pushed over here, and then we can fill up this side over here. So there's nothing terribly complex about this. You don't have to have the end rods. The end rods are here just make it look pretty like sexo, pretty macho sexo, if you know what I mean. Um, there's not. It's not terribly complex to explain, really. Um, yeah, there is the downside that you will be having an extra thing. This looks like a bit like a tumor that sticks out, sadly. Um, but otherwise, I really don't think it's a huge issue, especially considering the other factors that go into this farm. Um, Water lines will run underneath here. You will need to make sure just briefly that you don't have a water stream running underneath this. So if we just go like this, and we have our first water stream over here. You'll need to make sure that that you can't have this. So you can't have a button over here because no thing. So just make sure that you leave. You actually need to go back on the water stream over here. So the water ends about over here. You can see it as it flows over there. So your next water source will be over here. And that means that when a bottle is dispensed, let's say from this one, it will get caught by the water stream and will be propelled. There are certain blocks like bells, I think you can power as well, that can be waterloggable. They could make this thing one thing. Actually, no, I don't think it can be smaller because you're still stuck with the observer fuckers at the bottom here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much to it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not going to ask you to do anything else. But yeah, this is going to be pretty cool to build. I would highly recommend it. I wouldn't recommend going over 100 of these maybe. Even that's a bit of too much. You're making like a mini mob switch then. I would say a good number is about 20 or so. Okay, anyway, cheers.